Okay, so right now we're just going to go through various sort of just common things that happen in a football game and training, and how restricted joints can have their implications in those activities. So the first one is just picking the ball up. Anyone who's got any form of restriction will know that trying to pick the ball up off the ground can be a hard task just by themselves, let alone under pressure. So as you're coming in, okay, so you've got to be able to get down low to get the ball. Okay, so the first thing that can be an hindrance is your ankle mobility. So if you can't bring your knee down low enough to get the ball, you're going to try and bend over real fast through the back. Okay, so loss of spinal flexion, which you don't necessarily want. Another one is hip mobility, which again can come on the front leg and the back leg. So if you're too jammed up in the hips to get down into like a basic lunge position to try and get the ball, especially on the run, again, you're going to try and look like a ruckman who's trying to bend over to pick the ball up. And even from then it's hard to slow down and then generate your speed back again. With both of those, you're also going to need good glute strength to be able to go down, accelerate your body, pick the ball up at speed and then accelerate back out. If you've got dodgy ankle mobility and dodgy hip mobility, 99% of the time your glutes will be very weak as well. And also single leg stability and strength, which comes from all three joints, as well as your glutes, is also required to be able to go down, pick the ball up, and then maybe have to hip and shoulder someone as you go in and get it. If you're going to be weak on your feet, weak through your legs, you'll more often just collapse onto the ground, and once you're on the ground, you're of no use to the contest or the next contest. So we'll go into marking. Marking is basically just upper body related. So it's going to involve your thoracic spine, which runs from the middle of your back, so just below your shoulder blade, just up to the base of your neck. That's the part of the spine where you need to get your extension from, and also your rotation. So especially for marking, if you're really tight in the thoracic spine, where you'll have a rounded posture like so, it's going to mean that your shoulders are going to be all jammed up because they'll roll forward and you can't lift your arms up very far out or in front. So you need to be able to extend up. So then when you go for a mark, you can mark it at the very highest point. Okay, so Wayne Carey in the latter half of his career couldn't move his shoulders, his arms above his shoulders, so he just used to try and body people out and try and mark like this. Jonathan Brown does it a little bit as well. But if you look at Pods from Geelong, you'll always mark it at the highest point, give the defender no chance. So if you've got adequate thoracic extension, that's in turn going to give you glenohumeral or shoulder range of motion, which means you're going to be able to get your hands up here. Otherwise you're trying to mark it here, giving the defenders plenty of time and opportunity to spoil. So kicking and running, it's mainly to do with pelvic positioning. So most people are stuck in the excessive anterior pelvic tilt, which is where your bum flies out the back like that. A very, very small amount will be in posterior tilt, which is rolled right at the front. What you want is to lie somewhere in the middle, so you want to be about there. Probably about a 5 to 10 degree angle on your belt line of your pants. So the hip positioning is important because it aids in if you've got a correct hip positioning, then it means that you've got good balance around your hips. So you've got good balance. Your tug of war between your glutes and your hamstrings versus your quads and your hip flexors is roughly even. You'll never even them up, or probably get your glutes so far ahead of your quads that they're going to overpower them too much. But if you've got good glute strength, then it means you're going to be able to get hip extension, which is this action going back behind you. So when you're trying to run, if you see sprinters when they take off, have a look in Google and get photos, you'll see their leg right back behind them and this leg right out in front. Local amateur footy, people have sort of choppy running strides where they're really tight around the hips, around the quads, around the hip flexors, and their glutes don't work, so they can't even achieve this position here without their back going into hyperextension, which is going to give you lower back pain. So if you can get work on posterior tilting the pelvis through your deadlifts and any glute exercise. Then you can try and bring yourself from this position back into a more neutral position. And then your running speed will increase, because now you can engage your glutes, which is your strongest muscle, to push you forward. Your efficiency will be better because you're using your big muscles to run. You're not using one muscle to try and do three muscles job to be able to run harder for longer. And with your kicking, range of motion through the hips is very important, because as well as being able to go back into your backswing, you'll be able to come back through as well and get good follow through. So if your hips are all jammed up, you'll end up just trying to kick like that. Okay, so we all know that's not going to go very far, so you really need to load up and come right through with the leg.